Hey, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Welcome back, Captain Phil.
Hi, Captain
You're
Phil.
getting to be almost a regular Phil.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
here to ruin everybody's good time.
All right.
Nah.
All right. And welcome back, Mary Beth, of course.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? Good. Good.
We are awesome.
We're
We are
staying
ready
warm.
for
It's
a
been very
big
cold.
storm this weekend, and the
Very,
cold,
very cold
like
up
danger
here.
cold.
Supposed to get very cold. We're not supposed to get a lot of snow, at least not tonight. I don't know what.
Yeah,
at
not
least
tonight,
up
but
here.
I don't think. Are you getting snow up where you are this weekend, Rizzo?
I
You're
don't
supposed
know.
to get 9 inches by
It's supposed
me.
to get very cold.
Whew,
It's very cold in space.
very cold in space.
So anyway, we are doing. This is another Captain Phil suggestion. You guys see, Phil suggests, and we do it because
Phil,
we have no
coming
other
in
idea.
clutch.
I
So
have
this one
a
is-
strange power over you two, and the question
come up
really
with
is, do I
ideas?
use this power for good or
And-
evil?
And you,
It's
and
for
you
evil,
fill-
because then you
fill
let
the
us on your
time.
radio show, and we proceed to like.
So hey, I just want to say quick
Radio show.
hey to Dennis and Bill and Jeff. Thank you for joining us.
Our faithful. Hi guys, how are y'all?
So so we're doing 2002's Bubba Ho-Tep, which
Thank
is
you very
starring
much.
Bruce Campbell. This was I remember this. I had seen this before. This wasn't a make me watch, so I had seen this before. Believe it or not, it's not a horrible film. But before we get into that, I think we have news. All the
We
news
got
all the
news.
time.
We have news that I want your opinions on, Rizzo. I want you to tell me what you think.
I love giving opinions. I have
Okay, here we
lots.
News number one, Kathleen Kennedy is finally officially done at Lucasfilm. She did say she was stepping down, and I believe her last day was last Friday, the 16th.
Yes, and I heard, and the angels sang.
And the angels sang.
Oh.
Dave Filoni is now officially head of creative development, and someone who I don't know named Lywin Brennan. It's a girl, and she is doing executive duties. What do you think? Is Dave Filoni going to bring us home and bring us the good stuff?
He has a very tough job ahead of him.
Yes, he does.
He's got to pull this franchise out of the dump. I think he needs to look at what worked for them in the past. What was popular? Mandalorian first 2 seasons. Andor. Those were good. Some of the stuff, not everything was horrible, but there was some bad stuff, and not just the TV stuff. They got to look at the films and like what works to the film. What worked? What was the last really good Star Wars film?
And what?
Oh, Rogue One.
Hi, Chris.
Look what worked really well in Rogue One. And again, play to your. He's got to play to their fan base, and unfortunately, their fan base is,
rabid.
Well, it's rabid, but you got to look at who you can't alienate. Percentages of your 85% white males. I mean, that's who you have to. Unfortunately, that's if you want to make money. But the thing is they were making those towards that. Think about it though; the good movies did well with that population, and they did well with everybody. So it's yes, you say well. So play to what. All I'm saying is play to your strengths. What worked for you in the past? Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Don't try to target certain demographics. Is what I'm really getting.
We're probably going to touch on a similar topic later in the news tonight. But let me just move on here. James Gunn has released the Superman script online, the entire screenplay, the whole thing right now. I do not know how long it will be available for. So if you are interested in it, download it as soon as possible. I will be posting that link in the chat in just a minute here. Fallout is a very popular show, so of course they're going to try to make bank on that. So of course there is now a reality competition show called Fallout Shelter. It has been greenlit. It is now casting. They expected to have 10 episodes. It's set inside Vault-Tech's bomb-proof vaults. It has a diverse group of contestants, an immersive high-stake world, blah, 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 blah. Just like Fallout. They're basically in the Fallout world. This is going to be kind of like Squid Game in the Fallout world. What do you think, Rizzo? Do you want to be on this show?
I don't want to be on the show. I'm too old. And I have a good job. I don't need to be locked up in a vault. I don't know. I am not the demographic I think they're shooting for. I never watch. I don't watch any reality shows. I just don't. None of those shows. They're all usual BS anyway. They're all produced. They say they're real, but they're really not. But if it works, I might watch it just because it's Fallout, and I do love the games and I do love the TV shows. So, maybe I'll watch it to see what it is. But again, it's not.
I'll watch it to see how they integrate Fallout, like the post-apocalyptic stuff. I'm curious about that, but I don't care about the actual.
Well, they're doing it all in the vault. It's going to be very 1950s.
Yeah, the vault,
a lot of Jello molds and
probably. Jeff is saying, Kathleen really is out. She made the announcement that she would be stepping down, and she did actually step down. So that is true. Moving on, 45 years after it left screens, Blake's 7. Blake 7 might be making a comeback. A reboot is officially in the works with someone named Peter Hoare. And if you're not sure who Peter Hoare is, he did a ton of Doctor Who, some Umbrella Academy, and Last of Us episodes. He's quite a good director. He's reporting developing this project under his new studio, which is called Multitude Productions. He wants it to have an Andor feel about it. That kind of makes sense. I think that would work for Blake 7. You may remember, you may not remember. I don't know. Blake 7 centered around the band of rebels fighting a totalitarian empire. Do you remember that? It was like Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, it was. It was a little dark for that era.
It was great.
It was a darker show.
It was awesome.
Well,
it was awesome.
Apparently.
Yeah. Moving on, Mike McMahon. We know Mike McMahon. He made Star Trek Lower Decks. He has a new show coming out. He's teaming up with the guy he worked with on Solar Opposites, which I haven't seen Solar Opposites yet. If anyone has seen it, let me know if it's good. But he and that guy, Dominic Dirks, they're going to create a new show, a new sci-fi adult comedy called Odd Jobs. And I believe it's animated. And it's people, I don't know what it's about. Anyway, yay, Mike. I love his stuff, so I'm sure it would be great. Okay. Here, let's get to the main attraction of the news tonight. Starfleet Academy has been out. Rizzo and I have both watched the first 2 episodes.
I haven't watched the second one.
Oh, you didn't?
I only watched the first one. That's about all I could stomach.
Okay. I watched the first 2 episodes. Rizzo watched the first one. I want to read a quote. I don't know if I want to tell you my opinion first or read the quote first. Rizzo, I'm going to read you a quote from one guy making a review on this thing. I want you to listen to the whole quote, and then I want you to comment on it. So here we go. This is what one person said. I'm Gen X, he says. I love and relate to the stories of TOS, TNG, Deep Space Nine, and don't feel like they were written by a generation speaking to itself. They feel timeless. The lack of slang, the meta commentary, and the nods to the fans are what make those shows great. I don't want contemporary music in Star Trek. I want a score. I don't want contemporary acting in Star Trek. I want theatrical teleplay style acting. I want a heightened, timeless morality play. And I don't need the latest in special FX. I don't want a TV show that's relevant to me. I want stories and fables that are relevant to the human condition. Therefore, he doesn't like New Trek. What do you think, Rizzo? Has New Trek lost its Shakespearean morality play, human condition feeling that the original series had?
I think he absolutely nailed it. We were talking earlier about, the dialogue was one of the things that drove me crazy in this thing. It's very contemporary for, kids of that age. And they're trying to hit and include every demographic that they can. And I think it just muddies, it just waters everything down. I think it's right. Classic Trek, TNG, they were their own style because in the way that, how do I put it? They were in their own universe. They were hundreds of years in the future. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't use the same. I mean, look at how much language changed just in our lifetime from the 60s to now. Yeah, nobody says groovy anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody says groovy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's like that kind of thing. It's like, so they developed and they kind of, like I said, I was saying earlier before we started, you look at Star Trek 4 and there's that whole scene where Kirk's like, they swear every other word now in this timeline, in this time period. That's the only way they get attention because that's how we did talk. We do talk. We do swear every other word, but they don't do that in the 23rd century. They for whatever reason. So I think he has an excellent point. I think he nails it. Another thing I think we were talking, at least my opinion is, I think they're getting it wrong by kind of driving everything towards this Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever the current youngest generation is. They're by basically ignoring us old folks. I think they're missing a huge opportunity because We're the ones who still sit and watch television on a regular basis for several hours an evening. And we're the ones with a lot of disposable income at this point. I've never owned more Star Trek stuff in my life, except for what I've acquired in the last 10 years, because I can afford it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was younger,
close to dropping major coin on Star Trek the Motion Picture Happy Meal toys. This close.
Right. Well, but you're buying it, right? You're buying it off eBay because it's something you would have wanted, or didn't have, or you missed out. So, yeah, that's where I think, and this is the line that I literally face palmed, and it's, I think I swallowed my comm badge. This is a cadet who's going to the academy to be an officer in Starfleet, and she swallows her comm badge like some 12-year-old kid who has a problem putting things in his mouth. I mean, I'm like, what? This is the future? I don't want to live in it. I don't know if that's the future. Anyway, that's my opinion. There you go.
I watched first and second. I did not like the second episode at all. But the first episode, I was like, okay, maybe, I don't know, this could get there. I don't know. It didn't bother me. Like, I was so prepared to just be cringy and ragey and hate it and not like it. But it just kind of rolled over me innocuously. Like, it was no harm. It wasn't awesome.
I would agree with that. Initially, I was like, meh, but then I started thinking about things. And I'm like, that didn't make any sense. And that didn't make any sense.
Here's
and
my
that was
thought
stupid.
on this. It rolled over me. It wasn't horrifically terrible. But Star Trek deserves to be a lot better than not horrifically terrible. Right?
It's just more, it's more discovery is what it is.
Awesome.
Basically, it's more Michael Burnham. There's going to be more crying. There's going to be more talking about her feelings.
I'm going to keep watching it. My understanding, based on some reviews that the people who were allowed to see the first 6 episodes so they could give their advanced reviews, they say it gets better each episode. I'm hoping they're not lying to me, and I am going to continue to watch it. And I'm just hoping maybe it'll just wash over me, like, so much noise. It's like, oh, okay, that's fun. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, whatever. It's not getting good ratings.
But it doesn't hold. It's no high stakes,
Yeah, I just hope Paul Giamatti got a big paycheck out of that, because he was the shining light, even as much because he's just good at whatever he does.
Actually. I liked Holly Hunter. I enjoy Holly Hunter. Holly Hunter and Mary Louise Parker both have a horrible case of cottonmouth. Like, they talk.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know why they talk like that, but it really bothers me.
It does. He does have a very weird way of speaking. But here's another line that made me go, "What?" When he comes in and he says something like, "What did he say about it's like an origami chicken? It just folds in on itself," or something like that. I'm like, "What does that mean? Origami chicken?"
Don't remember that line.
Who writes this stuff? I'm like, what is that line? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense.
Bill is saying the first season of TNG had the worst episode. Yeah, you're right. It did have some bad episodes. And at
least with the counter at Farpoint, we established certain things. Now, granted, it was early on, and we know the first couple seasons of TNG were not the best, but there were still some good episodes in there. And at least it established certain things right off the bat. With introducing characters and things like that. I know people crap on it a lot, but it's not. When I first saw it in '87, I think it was when it aired. I liked it. It was Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, oh, this is the worst thing ever.
Counter at Farpoint is a real science fiction story.
Yeah,
and it has a moral. It has a moral point. It was talking about slavery.
Yeah,
right. There you go.
By the way,
Origami Chicken is a great name for a band. All right,
so I will go with that. I will believe that that's a band. It just didn't make any sense in the context he was using it.
It's my origami chicken. He meant maybe the origami swan or whatever that little.
Well, I know, but it was just like it just collapsed like an origami chicken or something. Like what?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I have to say I think Giamatti's a fantastic actor. I loved him in American Splendor. I loved him in the Howard Stern Private Parts movie. I thought he was brilliant.
I did too.
He was
WNBC.
Oh, Giamatti's great.
Yes,
Giamatti's awesome.
He was in it really bad. It was a B movie
sequence of
Bill, you should watch The Leftovers.
About Howard is just great.
Well, he was in it. What was the movie he was in? It was like a gangster movie. It was really kind of almost cartoonish, where he plays a bad guy and
Leftovers.
No, it's like the shooter or something. It has a name like that. I can't remember. It was, but even that he was great in.
Yeah,
and it was an overall bad movie.
I'm kind of hoping from what you guys are saying that maybe Giamatti, because Giamatti is a very well-read person too. There's stuff where he appears on the Colbert show, and all they do is talk about science fiction. And he's read everybody. He's read people no one's heard of. He's read Avron Davidson, and all these different writers. He's rattling him off like nothing. And him, he and Steven are like trading books back and forth. It's hysterical. So I'm hoping that his character arc, because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping from what you're saying, has maybe a little Londo Jakar aspect to it, which might be cool.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming from it. No,
it could still be coming though. It could still be coming.
But you didn't see that in the first 2 episodes of Babylon 5 either. You thought, there's these 2 jackasses on the station, and by the end of the show, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, but he's Giamatti's. His character in this is outright evil. He's like a
he's the season daddy. Could he have a character arc? Maybe, I don't know.
He's like worse than Harry Mudd. Like he's not like Harry Mudd had a humor side to him, even though, and eventually he had kind of at least in the original series, he had kind of he wasn't really a bad guy. Like he didn't want to see anybody hurt necessarily. He just wanted to get his money, sort of thing. So he's not. Yeah, Giamatti just comes across in this character. I can forget his name, what the character's name is, but he just comes. Now here's the other thing: everybody is a hybrid of something.
Yeah, everybody's half and half.
He's half Tellarite and half Klingon.
Yeah,
is that what he's supposed to be? And he looks like neither.
Yeah, no, he does not look Klingon at all.
No, I think that's an interesting. That's
everybody's a hybrid though. It's like everybody. The drill instructor is the half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar, which again doesn't make any sense. And you got a Klingon that likes to look at her.
You know what? She does not bother me. I like her. Her whole soul function. Those of you who have not seen the show yet,
all she does is bark at people.
She
hasn't developed any kind of character.
Need to be screamed at. So I am 1,000% okay with this.
Yeah, well, whatever. We'll see. I didn't see Joe Instructor at Starfleet Academy like when Picard was there, but
did you notice this? Oh, maybe you haven't seen the second episode yet. They have Starfleet Academy and they have the War College.
The War College, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, anyway, we killed it.
Is that because of
CBS? Is there any other news?
Did I have any other news? No, I think that was it. Rizzo, what are we drinking tonight?
Drinking
while we talk about
is
Bubba
Elvis
Ho-Tep.
old fashioned, because we all know that Elvis liked peanut butter and banana sandwiches. So this is peanut butter whiskey, which I've never seen, banana liqueur, a little honey, some orange bitters, and they kind of just shake that up and strain it over some ice, and there you go.
What does that?
If you like bananas and peanut butter, you might like this. I'm not a banana and peanut butter kind of guy.
I love bananas and peanut butter.
Well, then you might like this drink, Phil. What's that?
Somebody clue me in. What does peanut butter whiskey taste like, really?
It's probably nasty.
Banana?
I don't know. I've never had peanut. I've never even seen it. I don't think I've ever even seen it on the show.
And bacon.
There it is. And I'm not going to buy a bottle to try it. So anyway, moving on. All right, Bubba Ho-Tep. So Phil, you did suggest this to me. So the basic, I'll give you the quick plot is Elvis is in a nursing home. At first we don't know if he looks like Elvis, but is it really Elvis or just some old crazy guy that thinks he's Elvis?
Is he Sebastian?
Because he has a friend who's a little black old man who thinks he's JFK, which was one of the great lines. Is he goes, "But you're black." He goes, and of course the response is, "They dyed me." You see that's how devious they were. They died.
There's peanut butter whiskey. Thanks, Bill.
So anyway, we do get a backstory of that. Of course, according to him, it is Elvis that he got tired of being Elvis in the 70s, and he went and saw an impersonator that looked a lot like him and made a deal that they would switch places for a Prince and the Pauper kind of thing. And then the pauper version of him had the heart attack and died. And also he couldn't retake his place as Elvis because he lost the paperwork that proved who he was really in a fire in a trailer park, which is kind of funny. So that's his backstory. So whether you believe that or not, whether he's really Elvis or not, I guess they want you to believe that he's really Elvis. He's in this nursing home and these people are dying, and then he discovers that there's this ancient Egyptian mummy, I guess, that is coming out of the river where a bus that was carrying the sarcophagus crashed and is sucking the souls out of the old people, which is a perfect place to do that because people just think, oh, another old person died of natural causes. So he gets on him and the guy who thinks he's JFK decide that they are going to kill the mummy before he can steal their souls.
Yes. That is him who dubbed him Bubba
Ho-Tep. Well, they give you the description. It's kind of funny in the beginning of the movie. It'll come up. It says Bubba kind of definition, Texas redneck, blah, 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 blah. And then Ho-Tep, Egyptian. Now it's interesting when they show you the backstory of how the mummy ends up in the river. You notice the shots are all taking they're King Tut. It's all King Tut stuff.
Oh, is it King Tut?
Yeah, it's all. Remember, King Tut was a big thing, and it toured. They had the big King Tut display. It went around the country. Those are all from that news article when they found King Tut that was discovered.
He ended up with a cowboy hat or something. He wasn't.
Yeah, that they never really explained, other than the fact that he's in South East Texas.
He was a mummy,
but he was wearing a cowboy suit. Yeah, I think that was just for humor.
This movie is
not to be taken seriously.
He went native. He's just trying to.
Yeah, he went native. Yeah, that's true. They never did explain why the mummy was wearing a cowboy outfit.
Bill and Mary give peanut butter whiskey 2 thumbs up. So I don't know. I might need to try it. I bet it's a little sweet.
I would try it if somebody else had it. I'm not buying it.
Jeff says Bruce Campbell as Elvis. Perfect. Yes. Bruce Campbell as Elvis was in fact.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he's typical. This movie actually took, considering it was very low budget, they actually did shoot it at an old nursing home that was for vets. So they but it still took 30 days to shoot, which for a B movie of this budget was a long time actually. There was actually, I guess, one time they had so many lights and cameras around Bruce Campbell in his bed, he had to use the actual bedpan because there was the scarab. They never really he kills the scarab that's running around the nursing home. It's like a big beetle, you know what a scarab is, the Egyptian beetle thing. He kills that, but they never I thought that was going to end up being more like why that was running around. Obviously, it's running around because of the mummy, but what was the connection to the mummy? There's a lot of little threads they just kind of left.
I think he just wanted to have a scene where he's fighting the scarab, a la Evil Dead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's typical Bruce Campbell type fight scene. That's true. Yeah. The thing is, he's in a walker, which is funny. And there's this whole thing about
a deadpan as a weapon.
Yeah, he used the deadpan as a weapon. They captured it in the bedpan. And we won't even go into his whole medical issue there that he keeps talking about.
No, we won't go into the I don't even know. They need to be more of a payoff.
Yeah, there was no reason to have that in there. It was just like
there's no reason. Yeah, there should have been a payoff. But the whole reason he ends up in the nursing home in the first place is he had a freak. He was on stage doing Elvis.
He was doing an Elvis impersonation show.
Freak accident and a hip injury.
Fell off the stage.
Yeah, fell off the stage.
And he broke his hip and was in a coma for years. He was
in a coma somehow.
Yeah, he was in a coma for years as a result of that. And he wakes up in the nursing home. There's that part of it too. So, but he insists that he's Elvis and
he's Elvis. Yeah, there were a couple threads in this thing that were funny, but they should have either been paid off at the end or I don't know. Otherwise, no loose threads because there were a few loose threads, but that's okay. It was still the whole spectacle of it, like just the whole spectacle of Bruce dressed up like Elvis, and he's got the prosthetics, like he's got
Bruce
the mutton chop, has an Elvis-ish face, and they still gave him a jaw.
Yeah, he definitely could. He pulls it off. I mean, if anybody could play the older Elvis, Elvis from the 70s. The funny thing was, did you notice that you didn't hear one Elvis song in that movie?
Yeah, they couldn't afford it.
Cost so much. So he said it would have cost half their production budget just to get the license for one song.
Hilarious.
So they didn't have. There's no Elvis music in it. Even when he's on stage,
when they show the movies on the TV, there's an Elvis marathon. None of those movies are Elvis movies.
No, they're not. They're not
really?
Elvis movies. Yeah, they're all just people acting.
That's funny.
That was the funny thing. They got like 1,000 extras to do that concert scene.
Yeah,
and it took so long to shoot it. By the time they were done shooting it, like 90% of them had left. Like people were just like, "This is taking too long," so they just left. So they had to keep changing the angles to keep
That's hilarious.
Like people were there.
I guess they were only paying them in peanut butter liquor, right, Rizzo?
Peanut butter liquor, peanut butter and banana sandwiches, grilled. It has to be grilled, apparently.
What a funny little thing this was. Now, was it commentary like on aging? I mean,
I don't think it was commentary on anything.
Well, I mean, you can look at it. You can look at it from that point of view because it is. You can look at it from there, but it's really just like. I think it was Joe Lansdale, the writer, just like having too much to drink one night, and came up with this crazy ass idea, and ran with it. And that's the sort of thing he does, and it's great. And then who better to be in this than Bruce? It's perfect. And Ozzie Davis as John F. Kennedy was an amazing because Ozzie's great, and it was just awesome, But you see the difference in housing too. You see there's no money for Bruce. He's in like a really crappy room, and Ozzie's in a really well done.
He's in a really nice room. It's all decked out like JFK's office or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's
if you notice the stuff on the wall, it was all stuff related to JFK too. It was like there's like
everything
pictures of Oswald and
pictures of Ruby. Jack. What am I saying? Ruby.
Jack Ruby was the one that killed Oswald.
Jack Ruby, yeah, and Oswald and Marilyn and all that stuff. Yeah. I'm just reading these reviews.
It kicks off with his roommate dying, and the daughter comes and throws his Purple Heart in the garbage.
Yeah, and also he takes it but he's so pensive, and that's actually a really sweet moment where he's like, "Well, can I have his Purple Heart?" Like, that's why I'm just reading these reviews, and they're so funny how vastly different. The one review says, this is Bruce Campbell's pensive Elvis. It's a moving meditation on the diminutions of age and vagaries of fame. The other review is like this, it has a silly climax. It's so rote and generic it could have come out of any ordinary horror film. Which is it? Is it a meditation on age and fame, or is it a silly horror, or can it be both?
It's both.
I go with both.
It's both, and plus the fact that Elvis, Bruce as Elvis says throughout the movie, he wanted to be a hero. He wanted, like, being Elvis wasn't enough. He wanted to save the world. He wanted to be a hero. He says this, and this is, although, watching the film, the voiceover, the Elvis voiceover, gets a little jarring after a while. I kind of get burned down on it. I got tired of listening to it after a while. But overall, the concept is great. I think the movie is the perfect length. It shouldn't be longer than 90 minutes.
No, not a movie like this. Yes.
It was short.
It needed to go, but the whole thing and like the final battle with the electric wheelchair and the walker, and all that stuff. It was just it was I don't know, it was just unique and cool, I don't think it's a brilliant movie. It's not something where I said, well, we need to discuss this because there's like a burning ember in my heart that I must discuss this movie. The reason why I mentioned this to you was because my wife was watching like tons of Christmas movies over Christmas vacation, and she ended up watching Trans-Siberian Orchestra, some special they did in 1999, which featured Ozzie Davis. And I'm watching this, I'm like, holy crap, that's John F. Kennedy.
From Bubba Ho-Tep. Ozzie's been in everything. Ozzie's around.
Here's a little trivia though. Ozzie Davis and JFK were both born in 1917.
Yeah.
So he was the right age. The funny thing is there was a thing where they look. Remember, he looks in the back of his neck and you could see like stitching. Remember, he said they removed where they shot my brain, or they put a bag of sand in part of where my brain. You could see the stitching, and you could see Bruce Campbell kind of like thinks like, wait a minute. I just love the line where he looks at it and goes, but you're black. He's just like, yeah, he's like, I know that they dyed me.
Yeah, they dyed me.
And it's also kind of cool and like semi-modern science fiction.
Oh,
I guess
the actual code is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Phil. No, the actual code is, no offense, Jack, but President Kennedy was a white man.
Yeah. The interesting thing here is like there has been a lot of science fiction out there about Elvis and about the Kennedys. There's a great Twilight Zone episode called "The Once and Future King," where the premise is taken seriously, not like this is for fun, where an Elvis impersonator goes back in time, gets picked up on the road by the real Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley believes that this is his lost brother Aaron, who died at childbirth, his twin brother, and then thinks that, and then Elvis is going to go and like record his first song, and he's going to record this religious song, and the impersonator says, no, you have to record this song, which is the actual song Elvis did. I believe the Twilight Zone was able to afford the Elvis music, by the way. And then Elvis, he ends up having a fight. You know, the impersonator has a fight with Elvis, kills Elvis, and lives his life. And that's the Twilight Zone episode, which is kind of great. But there's been other stuff too. Like there's been an anthology of short stories. I believe David Joe was even in this, called Alternate Kennedys, where the Kennedys, you know, are in different sort of science fiction stories. And the cover of it is a Beatles album, but instead of the Beatles, it says the Kennedys, and it's all the Kennedy brothers looking like the Beatles in that first Beatles album, you know, with their faces.
Oh,
there.
That's funny.
And then, of course, Profiles in Silver, where you know, the relative of John F. Kennedy goes back in time to save Kennedy, you know, from being assassinated, and when he does, the whole world begins to fall apart. So John F. Kennedy decides he needs to go back and take the bullet and die to save the world. That's another Twilight Zone episode. All interesting stories where these political and musical giants insert themselves into modern science fiction, and of course Joe ran with it, you know. And I can't help but think about the book, which almost got made into a movie, Buddy Holly is Alive and Well, on Ganymede, you know. And there's a great movie trailer, which the lead character in it was played by the guy who plays Napoleon Dynamite. So I think I might have sent you the trailer for that before, guys, but I'll send it to you again. But it's just that sort of thing that's neat. And the fact that this thing made it from the short story to the movie, I think is brilliant. I think it's also brilliant that they were able to get Ozzy Davis, and Bruce. I think Bruce was born for this. You know, this is just a great thing for him. But you gotta, it's tongue in cheek. You gotta take it. You know, it's a little bit of fluff. It's not saving the world. It's just goofy fun.
No, it's a fun movie. It's just, if you're bored on a Saturday afternoon, rainy Saturday type of thing, then you're looking for just something to watch that's going to not require a lot of brain function. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. You know, I liked the whole, when we started to see the backstory of how Bruce ended up, because you're like, how did this guy, he's really Elvis, how does he end up in how did he end up here? Yeah. How did he end up in this kind of crappy, you know, old folks home in East Texas? You know, it just didn't, you know, it doesn't make any sense. But then of course he goes through and tells how it happened. But you know, the other thing that it plays on is how many times, you know, people think Elvis is still alive. You know. Yeah,
they didn't even blink. Like they were like, "Yeah, sure, you're Elvis." Like they didn't, you know.
No, of course not, because most sane people know that Elvis is dead. He's not alive. Yeah. But there's always that, you know, he was, you know, even, you know, they did it in Men in Black. You know, Elvis isn't dead. He just went home. You know,
yeah, their brains automatically went to, well, this can't be Elvis, this has to be. Interesting, because Riz and I have been talking about kicking around the idea of doing a show where there's two weird topics and they've thrown them together. This would be exactly one of them, Elvis plus mummies, two weird things. There are others out there. And just back with Bubba Ho-Tep, in 2019, Dynamite Entertainment, which is a comic book, or actually it's a graphic novel, well, it's both, whatever, published a 4-issue crossover miniseries, Army of Darkness and Bubba Ho-Tep, which shows Elvis teaming up with Ash Williams. So the two Bruce Campbell characters teaming up and doing whatever it is that they're doing. So if you are interested in that, you probably can still find it out there. It's from 2019, so it's a couple years old now, but it's probably still out there. That was Dynamite Entertainment, if you are interested.
So that was
supposed to be a sequel to this movie as well.
It was a comic book, or was
I think it was a graphic novel, but I'm actually not sure.
Comic
book. There was supposed to be a sequel to this, the same way there was supposed to be a sequel to Buckaroo Banzai. You know.
Well, there's supposed to be a prequel to this called Bubba Nosferatu: Curse of the She Vampires.
Yeah.
Which has been in the works apparently for many years. And they kind of tease it at the end of the very, 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 very end. If you get past if you go to the end of the credits, it just says something like Elvis will return in Bubba Nosferatu.
Oh, sorry, this is a comic. My bad. This is a comic. It says it was co-published with IDW. That's interesting. Good for you, IDW.
So,
but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and like I said before, you know, this sort of thing inserts itself. I did meet Joe Lansdale. I had him sign the DVD. There was a special edition DVD of this movie, which has an Elvis jacket. So the DVD case has a slipcover that's in one of those white Elvis puffy shirts or jackets or whatever.
Yeah.
So the back of the DVD, I had Joe sign when he was at Icon years ago. He was there with his daughter. His daughter was trying to start a singing career. She actually came and sang at WUSB. And then she talked trash about the station afterwards because we were in our old facility back then, which was really horrible. But hey, man, you know, but she sings really, really well. But I looked her up, and she hasn't really done anything since then. So there hasn't been anything new. She has teamed up writing with her father, more books, stuff like that. And I saw Bruce Campbell at a book signing he did in Huntington, Long Island. I was there with my friends, and I brought the same DVD to get signed there. And he said, "Oh, you met Joe Lansdale?" And I said, "Yeah." Then he said something extraordinarily inappropriate about his daughter, which basically, I'll say it. He said, "Yeah, man, his daughter has a great set of you-know-whats." You know? He says that to my friend.
Random.
I'm like, what?
Very random, very inappropriate. Like, what? Why?
Yeah, I like it. It's one of these things we're all waiting online to get the book signed, and there's Bruce, and he did a talk, and he was Bruce, and he was great. He was Bruce. He was the guy. He was the guy. And you go up there, and he says that, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to say to that, because it's the truth. She's a beautiful woman, but at the same time, it's not something I would walk up to her and say, you know, at any given moment. Maybe you can get away with it, but not me. It was crazy, and I did see him speak at a New York Comic-Con, and I had my sister with me, and my sister didn't know Bruce from a hole in the wall. She didn't know his movies or anything. She was just with me. She was hanging with me for the weekend at Comic-Con, and she was dying. She thought this was the funniest thing she ever saw. And at some point, some woman gets up, and you know, because you line up and you ask questions that you do at a convention. At New York Comic Con, there's like 2,000 of people there to see him, so this line was crazy. This woman managed to get to the front of the line, and she had seen him at other events and stuff. And Bruce, this is just a great story. Just Bruce looks at her from the stage and says, "Listen, lady, I've seen you before, and you really just need to relax and sit down, okay?" You know, it was just like the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, my sister and I are literally almost like losing it. We're almost peeing our pants. We're laughing so hard. And that's how the whole thing went. And so if you have the opportunity, go see him live. Just don't ask him about Joe Lansdale's daughter.
Lansdale's daughter.
You know?
Joe Lansdale's daughter's anatomy.
Yeah. Hey, what do you say to that?
Do.
Maybe, you know, we're having
or
a
do ask.
If you're into that, but
Yeah, or do ask.
What do you do? Because
you
you're having your fanboy moment. You're getting your stuff signed. We all have done that, and that's what he says. I'm like, this guy can say anything, you know. Right.
He strikes me as one who has no problem. Like if he has hecklers or unruly fans, like he has no problem dealing with them.
It's probably better with hecklers. He's better. He's better with them. If someone, it was just. I think he must have been promoting the TV show, the Evil Dead TV show. That's what it was when I saw him at Comic-Con. But but yeah, but that the Evil Dead 2, the second Evil Dead movie, the one where he gets the chainsaw stuck on his hand,
No,
it's like the greatest movie ever made.
Is that the
no,
one?
Army of Darkness beats Evil Dead.
Oh, Army of Darkness.
That-
Yeah.
Army
is
of
that the
Darkness.
one? It's not the one.
Army of
where
Darkness is one where he ends up going back to the Middle
That's
Ages.
what I'm talking about. I got
No,
the
that's
guy-
Army of Darkness. Yeah, no,
that,
Army of
that,
Darkness.
that's a great movie. That's probably one of the greatest movies ever made. You know,
That was our very first Make Me Watch, I think.
That was to make me watch. Mary Beth had never seen it. Me and
I've never
Kent
seen
made
it.
her
They
watch
made me
it.
watch it. I watched it.
the whole thing with the necrocomic whatever it is.
Necronomicon.
Yeah, with the book and
With the
Plato
book.
Nictu Barada is just unbelievably great. Just like the
Oh
funniest.
yeah,
thing
when he
ever.
goes, because he does the line from
David,
yeah, the Nick to Nasra. I said it pretty much.
I mean, it's literally the Three Stooges meet, sci-fi fantasy horror. But it works. The whole thing is.
Oh,
just
it's a great
crazy.
movie. It's a good movie. It's so it's
yeah, it's
it
a
has
funny
so many
movie.
things in it that make it great. From the Harryhausen, effects to the Bruce Campbell's performance to just. There's so many things in it that make it great.
The Buick has to be in every, and that's why I love the first Spider-Man movie. I mean, Uncle Ben is driving that Buick. He's driving Raimi's Buick. It's great. It's just brilliant. Yeah, and I think that's getting back to Bubba Ho-Tep. There's a lot of times where Bruce is like looking down the hallway for Bubba Ho-Tep, or he has the fight with the Scarab, and they do that crazy jump cut thing that they did in Army of Darkness, where everything's cutting really quickly back and forth like that. And I think the only reason they did that was so that you would know it's a Bruce Campbell movie, because I didn't see the point of that personally, but it's sort of like
he did a good job with the Elvis character because he wasn't just playing Elvis; he was playing Elvis old, and he played it a little bit more sweeter and a little bit more genuine than I actually expected him to. I kind of expected Ash. I kind of expected him to be just a little bit off as he can be. But no,
we did get a little Harryhausen in there because the Scarab was clearly an animated.
The Scarab was,
was very, and I don't know, like all of a sudden its like head would like pop out. Like it was a weird thing. Like, the weirdest little thing. It was like a regular bug, and then this like head would pop out of the front of it.
Like the little heads on the top of the Whatsums in The Fifth Element. The
the aliens,
whatever they were, I can't remember.
Yeah.
You see, I go like this. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Light, Aziz, Aziz.
Yeah, Aziz light. Thank you, Aziz.
Yeah,
another great movie. Anyway,
but I think it's a fun movie to watch with your friends, and you're a little bit not on your feet aren't on the ground. You have a little bit of alcohol or whatever else. It's just great, and also that something like Elvis, and Kennedy, they move into this other place where they're part of science fiction, fantasy, or horror lore now. And there's a lot of that stuff out there. You can find like a lot of historical characters merging into the science fiction fantasy world.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Exactly.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
Cowboys and Aliens. These are all two strange tastes that probably taste strange together, and yet they were at one point or another merged together.
Actually, I haven't seen Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, but I have seen Abraham Lincoln's Vampire Hunter, and it is actually not a bad movie.
It was fun. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember not liking it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, no, I actually said
I watched it.
See, that's how I felt about Cowboys and Aliens. I thought Cowboys was the same.
It was okay. It's just the thing. I think I don't know. Yeah, it was like okay.
I think Daniel Craig and I think Harrison Ford is in that.
Yeah.
Wait, is Harrison Ford in Cowboys and Aliens? I know it's Daniel Craig.
I know it's Daniel Craig, and that to me was a little odd seeing him as a cowboy.
Yeah, an American cowboy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, he has a really good range. If you want to see him in a really good movie in a completely role that is totally not him, go see rent Logan Lucky. It's
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig plays like this crazy convict. The whole it's a heist movie. It's got what's his name there? Where Kylo Ren. The hell's the actor's name?
Driver.
Adam Driver. It's really actually good. Go trust me, take it as a recommendation. All you here. I mean, Logan Lucky. It's a heist movie. They're trying to rob a NASCAR race. They're at a NASCAR the ticket, the whatever the money from a NASCAR race, and it's hysterical because Adam Driver's got.
It's good. I have to admit, I rather enjoy him in the Knives Out series.
Daniel Craig, he's good, but just if you see him in this, you'll be like, I can't even believe that's Daniel Craig. Like it's like not, it's so outside from his normal how he normally does acting. And I've seen a lot of his movies besides the Bond stuff. What was the one where he plays the Russian revolutionary guy? Somebody might remember it. It's a really good movie. Anyway, he's a good actor, but this one he really does good because he's completely out of his normal. You almost wouldn't recognize him. Like he's shaved, like blonde hair, like bleached. He's crazy. And Logan Lucky, trust me.
All right, I will check it out. I usually enjoy Daniel Craig's work, so I guess I.
And this one actually made because I never was a fan of Adam Driver till I saw this movie. And I really like
Dragon Tattoo. Dan. Now that I'm actually looking at his thing, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's
Adam Driver. Was he the Star Wars dude?
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Yeah, which I hated him in that. I hated the character. I just hated everything about it.
He did a movie with Scarlett Johansson where they're married and they get divorced. And that was intense. I saw that.
Marriage. Wasn't that just called Marriage or something?
I don't remember, but it was.
They made fun of it on SNL. Speaking of SNL, they had Wolf Finhard, whatever his name is, on the other night, and they kind of went off on a bunch of things, including Stranger Things, and it was pretty funny. It was one of their funnier episodes.
By the way, William Sotak mentions that Quantum Leap had a Kennedy episode as well.
Yeah. I think every sci-fi they all like having a Kennedy.
Time.
Yeah. It's one of those. Well, because it's one of those large big event points, right? It's you're gonna
everyone remembers.
I wasn't even born yet when that happened, so I don't have the where were you when Kennedy was shot. I wasn't born. But I do know where I was when the shuttle exploded. I knew where I was when 9/11. So we unfortunately those are sad things.
We kind of have the Reagan attempted
being shot. We do have some points in time that are anchor points, as you put it.
Yeah.
So that's there's always going to be stuff that's going to be written about those.
I thought it was kind of interesting. Speaking of like real people being drawn into the world of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. I kind of think Watchmen, the movie, did a fairly decent job. They brought in Nixon, they brought in Lee Iacocca, stuff like that. It was kind of fascinating. Although I do have problems with
TV show was good.
Watchmen.
They were unrelated to each other, but they were both good.
Yeah.
Oh, you should watch TV show. It's quite good, and in a lot of ways, kind of relevant to some current events. So yeah.
I watched the first episode where they did Tulsa. Yeah. I did see.
Yeah. They did. They talk about Tulsa. Yeah. They talk about Tulsa. Yeah, that was Regina King. It was so good.
And that's hidden history. That's something that I never learned. I had to learn from a TV show. I never learned that in a social studies class.
Isn't that sad?
I think it'd be required reading.
There's so many things that you find out later in life that you're like, why didn't I learn about this in school? Japanese internment camps.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about that till college level, and I couldn't believe it when I didn't believe it at first. We didn't do that. We wouldn't do that.
We were the good guys. No.
Yeah. So I mean, they never mentioned it in talking about anything in history class. It wasn't the part of American history that. But again, like most history, we don't want to forget it because we tend to repeat it. So
that's true.
As a retired teacher, I can imagine the social studies teacher being pulled into the office and being told not to teach that. You know,
Probably.
Scenario.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even in the textbooks. You know, I'm like, it was like I don't even know if that was in the encyclopedias.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You know, I mean, how many of you had World Book? Did your parents buy you the World Book?
But
Remember
there's
the
a
big long
textbook thing. Like they're all made by the same company or
Well,
some company
they're
that's
all
pushing for
again to the victors. You know, and that's how the history gets written.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
I mean, and it's an embarrassing. It's a black mark on American history for sure, and like many things are that are covered over Tuskegee and all these
what,
things that
Daniel?
are coming out, you know, that we never knew were downplayed. So
Yeah, you know what Daniel Craig did that we should maybe do on this. Oh no, never mind. That's a lie. I'm lying. Never mind.
ignore that.
I take it back. Reel it back in.
Well, you never said it, so we don't have to worry about it.
I was like, oh, that's sci-fi. And then I realized it was not sci-fi.
So yeah, I just want to keep us on track because we got off of Bubba
yeah, as
here.
usual, we wandered off.
But yeah, no, I again overall, I think if the film, it doesn't really have a lot of. I don't think there's a lot of social commentary other than maybe we should treat our old people better. And I don't know. So,
it's what you bring with you. Like if you're looking for it, it's there, but it's not really delivering it. You know, like,
and like you said,
I was like, this movie is bringing this message, and I want to talk about it.
You know what's interesting? Yeah, it's interesting is you mentioned the length, which is very short. It's less than 90 minutes. Less shorter than episode 2 of Starfleet Academy, by the way. Which is 100 minutes. Too long for a television show. But it doesn't seem like that short of film when you're watching it. Like I think there are certain parts that just drag a little bit.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But that's where I was saying the Elvis impersonation starts to wear after a while, you know. And
well, I mean, I started getting interested. Like it was very slow at the beginning, and I started getting interested when he started talking about how he ended up there and the whole story about how he found this. I forgot the name of the impersonator, the guy's real name, because they kept calling it, of course, through the whole movie. You think you'd remember. But you know, that's when I was like, "Oh, hey, this is kind of interesting. I like that." And I know, and that scene where the Cadillac kind of pulls up in the street and he goes to see the guy. That's when I remembered. Yeah, I remember this from seeing this before. Like that scene, for some reason, triggered something from when I had seen it because I know I had seen the movie, but I couldn't remember anything about it. So
amazingly enough, this was a film that Mrs. Captain Phil enjoyed watching with me as well, and we had seen it in the past, and so I think the two of us have both watched this like 2 or 3 times. This was like the second or the third time, so I thought that was kind of amusing.
Well, that's good. I don't know if I don't know. Well, she probably would. Liz would have watched it, but I don't know if she would have enjoyed it. Maybe I don't know.
Good.
The Bill saying so Starfleet Academy is the new low bar. No, Bill, the low bar is Star Trek Section 31.
Oh no, Section 31, yeah.
Section 31 film is the lowest bar, and it's so easy
that is
to
the
clear. Starfleet Academy is by hand much better than that. But that is, like I said, that's like you wouldn't trip over that bar walking over that bar. Like you would barely know that the bar's there. It's a slight hump in the carpet.
I have to say, getting back to Bubba Ho-Tep for a second, we really enjoyed the hieroglyphic graffiti in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was funny. Like that was like, yeah, the mummy left. Well, he's taking a dump. What he's saying, he's got nothing to do, so he tries.
It's a hieroglyphic.
Well, that, and I like the part where Bubba Ho-Tep was cursing at them. And, what came out of his mouth was the Egyptian symbol, and then they'd have the subtitle of what he said.
Yeah.
It was something like, it was
always
you
in hieroglyphic.
Yeah, he cursed at him in hieroglyphic, but it was like modern curse, like.
And I think, I mean, and going back to what you guys are saying about Starfleet Academy and the other Star Treks and stuff like this, all those things, thank the writer, either the actual writer of the short story, Joe, or whoever adapted this for the screen, because all those things, it's just basically good writing, to have that in there, in the right spot. We're having the big final battle, but he's like talking crap, in Egyptian, and then it's coming out like that. It's just, it's great because who's going to believe like a slight, infirm Elvis battling, the mummy to the death, with a mobile wheelchair? It's kind of like beyond belief,
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing of what I love. One of the things I forgot to mention. This is like one of the key things, at least what I liked about the movie, is like because mummies, again, traditionally cannot move quickly because they're dead and they're just like kind of true zombies are always kind of should be slow and lumbering. And then, of course, anybody else would have been able to kick this guy's ass in about 2 seconds because they could just run up to him and throw gasoline on. But these guys are so decrepit. It was like an equal. It was like it was an equal battle because he had this guy, the mummy, that couldn't move fast, and they couldn't move fast. Now, why? I always said, like, you hit him the first time with the gasoline and the fire, and I'm like, well, why? And he stops. And hit him again. Double tap. Why are you letting there? Let this one hit him again. Double tap.
Yeah. When Mike, the whole thing happened because John F. Kennedy fell asleep in his wheelchair. He's out there to fight.
Yes.
And he falls asleep because he's an old dude. It's great.
Yeah. But he doesn't go after him. Remember? He goes after Elvis.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he doesn't take he was the bait. Remember, that's why he was the bait. And
bait
he didn't
Susan, so yeah.
But Bubba Ho-Tep was a little smarter than they were, and he knew that they were setting him up.
And I mean, overall, it is kind of beautifully poetic. It's like the king of Egypt versus the king of rock and roll. Great.
There. I just thought it was kind of funny because if you're gonna always crack me up. It's like mummies are so slow. Like unless you're like tied up, you pretty much can run away from them. But this was a good match. It was a good pairing. So anyway. Well, we're almost at the end of the hour, so I think we all agree that we like this movie. It was fun.
It was fun.
So thanks for suggesting it. I had forgotten all about it, except for I think one time I remember James talking about it because, of course, James likes Elvis, obviously, and I remember him talking positively about it, which I thought was interesting because he generally doesn't like anything made after 1968. So anyway. So on that note, I don't know what
Roy, I do.
Go ahead, Roy. What's Roy got going?
Yeah, Roy is doing something that we did back a couple years back. He's doing The Abyss. So Friday night 7, Roy will be looking at The Abyss. Phil, what do you have coming up on WUSB Stony Brook?
Well, I was just talking to my good friend Bill McNulty about 2 hours ago. We have a lot to discuss. Of course,
yes, you have much to discuss.
So that will be at noon tomorrow on WUSB, streaming at www.wusb.
Oh, is that the political show?
That's the political show.
Oh.
Then Captain Phil's Planet at 4 o'clock. We're going to have a palate cleanser and just have some music there. But boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to pay attention because the infamous, famous, beautiful, talented, intelligent, brilliant Mary Beth Rakowski will be programming Friday Night Freeform this Friday starting at 9 p.m. She has sent me the music. Michael Rizzo will be there. Of course, I will be there. It's not a show without Captain Phil. You could never – I'm surprised there's any radio shows that exist without Captain Phil, but that's just my opinion. But it's going to be a great show. We're going to be playing the music, and we're going to be discussing the music. And having a nice time. So that's
right.
Great.
I am
week,
taking over on Friday night. I'm taking over and having my way with your show.
Having your way with the show anytime. Yes. Just stay away from Bruce Campbell, Mary Beth. All right, he's not to be trusted. And then the following week will be Michael Rizzo will program as well. We'll have a return of Mary Beth. Captain Phil, of course, will be there. Friday Night Freeform. Which is good because the entire WUSB schedule changes on February 1st. Friday Night Freeform will change.
That's it.
Captain Phil's Planet stays the same, but there will be changes across the board. So this is your last chance to get the full 2.5 hour epic, giant size episodes.
I just want to say that I did not get the big fanfare introduction like Mary Beth got. All I got was, and Rizzo will be there.
And then Rizzo does it the next
and
week.
this guy over here is going to be there.
Well, because you're on the following week, so
okay, I want. Yeah, but see, I'm not going to
get. You'll get fanfare next week.
Whoever's sitting in the hot seat next week, whatever you guys are doing next week, they'll have to do the talking. I'll send them some copies. You guys know I'm such a terrific writer, so you'll know I'll write up something really great.
Okay, I want it to be epic.
It will be epic.
Okay. So, all right. Next week I think we're really toying the idea of the two weird topics that go good together movie. I don't know what we'll call it, but something along that line.
We'd probably be reviewing 4 movies at once, but that's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
2 or 3, maybe. I don't know about 4. 4 sounds like a lot. That's a lot of movies I got to watch between now and then.
But it's okay. We'll have time. We're all going to be snowed in on Monday, I think.
Well, I work from home anyway, so that doesn't mean
anything. You do. Yeah.
I don't go anywhere.
I forgot.
All right. On that note, Phil, thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you.
Pleasure. You guys are
Friday night.
To me. I value our friendship, and this is great fun, and you're performing a public service, because if you hadn't put me on this show, I'd be out on the street bothering people. So this is very good.
Well, good. We're saving somebody from harassment.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
There you go. Our public service.
So,
all right. On that note, we will say good night, and of course, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you always. Good night, folks.